I don't really know how to sugarcoat this, but quite yesterday I made like the ultimate low I think I've done since making these low high acts of kindness. And that's something I technically forgot to do, so I'm actually going to do this now rather than, later. But before I get to that, I'll just say I'll do my high, my acts of kindness. My high was I was able to see my dad for a little while yesterday. That was really great. And my act of kindness was I actually had to help him out because he had to take his car to get to the car place to get fixed or whatever. And so, I had to sort of drive him around for a little bit. But it was fine. I got to see my dad yesterday. And that was really great. But it doesn't really make up any sort of excuse to the fact that I forgot something really important. So, good morning and happy hump day, everybody. It's 2 weeks before St. Patrick's Day. Anyway, around this time of year is when I really do sort of feel, and I think that's why I was feeling a little depressed, because it was around this time of year that Sean Bertanza's birthday was. But his birthday was actually yesterday. That's what I forgot to do. Now, for those of you who don't know who Sean Bertanza is, let me explain. He was one of my brothers at Trinity Poly. He was my teammate in cross country, and the sport he was particularly known for playing was basketball. If I recall correctly, I believe he was a shooting guard. Yeah, my basketball terminology really is not the greatest. It was like his thing was like being able to be really good at shooting 3-point shots. I think that's what a shooting guard. Well, really anyone can score 3-point shots off the yin yang, but I think I think a shooting guard is. Actually, I think I got the point guard shoots for goes for points, where the shooting guard goes for shots, the 3-point shots. Is that how it goes? Again, my basketball terminology really is not that great. I just realized, thanks to this time and this outfit, I actually look like I'm dressed like a coach for a basketball game. Anyway, so he was actually sort of a late comer to cross country because, believe it or not, Trinity Poly had all sorts of extracurricular activities you could do because you were supposed to do at least something. And there was actually a running group. Basically, think cross country, but nowhere even remotely competitive. And Sean was actually really good in the running group. He's like, hey, this doesn't really seem so bad. Is cross country any different? And so they let him join. And it was great news for the team. At the time, it was bad news for me, because I had only just made the top 7, and here comes Sean, who was obviously faster than I was. And so now I had to fight tooth and nail even harder to make the top 7. Oh, well. Seriously, seriously, first it was Andrew Einstein, then Sean Bertanza. And I just realized that both of them have passed on. Oh, that's kind of awkward. Anyway, Sean was just such a nice guy, very quiet, His coolest feature, though, was that he had an afro. Yeah, white guy with an afro. It was the coolest thing ever. In fact, he was a classmate of mine. He was in my English class. And there was actually at one point a bet going on saying, okay, if you can't go 5 for 9 3-point shots, you have to shave the afro off your head. Eventually, he shaved it off, but not because he lost the bet. Just he felt like it was time just to simply, get rid of it. Which, that's fine. I mean, it'd be no different than, say, if I wanted to, I could just completely shave off the hair off my head because I felt it was time to do so. I'm not going to shave my head, by the way. So don't ask for that. I love my soft hair. It's very nice. Tell you what, though, it's looking pretty good for after being almost 60 days since I got my last haircut. Although, now we just gotta get through March, and then a week or so in April, and then I'll be able to cut my hair. As I always wait until around 100 days before I cut my hair, by the way, but I'm getting sidetracked. So, it begs the question, what happened after Trinity Polly? Well, actually, and I just need to, after Trinity Polly, he actually went to a college called LaSalle, Lasell, where he got to play basketball there. And from what I hear, he was actually very, very good. Now, while I was in college, I've said this before, I was a terrible student. Don't get me wrong. I went to all my classes. I got my work done. I tried to keep myself out of trouble. I just didn't study because I hated to read. And it was after the first semester of my senior year, when it was almost guaranteed, when I almost fixed myself out of the trouble that I was in academically. Well, actually, I did fix the problem I had. I just had to get through the final semester when I graduated. Literally, as I found out that I was A-okay, that was when, on December 20th, 2012, I had heard of the unthinkable. Sean Bertanza had passed away in his sleep. Now, at the time, I was a health science major, so as someone who's studying that stuff, it made me wonder, how did it happen? Because when a person passes away in their sleep, that really could mean anything. Your lungs gave out, maybe possible brain failure, too much internal bleeding. Something could cause you to, pass on in your sleep. It's a very sad and very unfortunate thing when it happens. To this day, my heart goes out to the Bertanza family for this. And it's just so incredibly, tragic, sad, and other synonyms for just plain, why this happened, Okay, literally a year ago, though, because I'm actually friends with Sean's mother on Facebook, she had actually told me what, his cause of death was. I think it should be okay. I think I should be able to say this. I mean, it happened almost over 8 years ago. I think at this point it's fine. It turns out, all of Sean's life, he actually had Wolff-Parkinson's White syndrome, which I don't know the logistics of it, but from what Sean's mother had told me, he just had a particularly weak heartbeat. So I guess in this case, his heart gave out when he was in his sleep. Which, considering what had happened, I'm just thinking when I was finally told what happened, I'm like, okay, I guess honestly it was kind of a crapshoot as to whether that was going to happen. Because, a person's heart really could give out at any time, technically. By all accounts, my heart could have given out last night and I wouldn't even know because, I was asleep. But it's just one of those unfortunate, why did this have to happen to, Sean Bertanza, and why did this sadness have to bestow upon his family? So, with that in mind, I dedicate this video to the Bertanza family. this is a rather difficult time. And even though Sean's birthday was yesterday, my heart still goes out to them. They're probably feeling like some sort of residual aftershock about, feeling the way they have probably up until now. Because, it was his birthday. And, he's kind of not here to celebrate anymore. And in case those of you are wondering about, Nick, you never name names because you're afraid about, embarrassing or offending people. Here's the thing. And I know this sounds kind of bad to say, but a person can't be embarrassed or offended if they've already passed on. At least that's what I'm pretty sure that's how it works. But regardless, I will be forever blessed that I got to know Sean. He was actually like in fact, I mentioned that he made the top 7 on cross country at Trinity Pawling. I happen to be number 7. He was number 3. Yeah, he was actually the 3rd fastest guy on the team. Which, okay, actually, 3rd or 4th. He was like somewhere like upper middle, roughly. To be perfectly honest, I was just happy that my fat behind somehow was number 7. I never should have, I never thought it would ever happen. I'm never going to question that. I'm just going to be thankful that, cross country gave me some wonderful memories, including, knowing who the late but oh so ever great Sean Bertanza was. And that's really about all I can do. Try and carry on this example and live day by day. I can definitely say that for my brothers at Trinity Pawling who knew him, I think we can all agree that he was a very special and very wonderful individual. And to the good people of, my home area, Horseheads, who obviously did not know him, I can definitely tell you that if you knew him, you would have loved him. I guarantee you. In fact, you would have loved how great he was at basketball. But holy cow. To this day, I actually put Sean Bertanza as in my top 3 of shooting guards I knew back in my high school days. He's in my top 3. There's kind of someone at number 1 already, but the person at number 1 was just ungodly compared to the people at 2 and 3. So, compared to Sean and the other person who's in the top 3. But I can tell you, in his own right, Sean was special. He was. I'm probably totally botching his position on the basketball court, by the way. But I swear, I think he might have been a shooting guard. Because I was just a little bit taller than Sean. So there's no way he was a center. I can definitely guarantee you that. Maybe he was a forward. He kind of didn't quite have the size to be a forward, in my opinion. But then again, I'm bigger and taller than Sean. Well, I'm definitely taller than Sean, but at the time I was also bigger. So maybe I could be wrong about that. So I'll just say he was a shooting guard because of the whole 3-point shots thing. I'm sure, maybe should Sean's mother see this, she'll probably tell me what his position was on the basketball court. But honestly, that's sort of a minor thing in the grand scheme of things. Because in the end, Sean was just a wonderful guy. And there's nothing more I can really say about that. And I meant what I said just a few minutes ago. If anyone got a chance to know Sean, you would have loved him. That almost completely goes without saying. Although, speaking of mothers, I did get to see my mom today. Yeah, she's been working a couple of days, so I haven't really been able to see her. But I'll be seeing her tonight, tomorrow, and Friday. And then she works the weekend. But I've got 3 days I think I'm going to do my best to make them count. Like, favorite, share, the subscribe button. Follow me on social platforms, social media, and YouTube. I'm very humbled to do this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy today. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day. I hope the Bertanza family is doing okay during this time. It can be a little difficult, I know. You know, my heart goes out to you. And remember, you guys, my talking channel is going to be here to lend you like that. Take care and make good choices. See ya.